Welcome to Sports Close-Up. Jim Berger, Mike Fiorillo. Jim, today, Saegertown softball.
Saegertown softball coming off of a heck of a year. It was good to talk to some of those young ladies in the coaching staff.
It was, and we went up there and did their game against Union City, and Union City cracked that big home run. I think it was the 5th or 6th inning, and then they beat Saegertown at Union City, and those two were paired up for the D10 championship game, and everybody was predicting the Bears were going to win, but the Panthers had different ideas.
They had the last laugh. They won. It was big, and it's great hearing the reaction of some of these players is to get about getting that revenge. So.
No doubt about it. So let's get right to it. Coach Mark McKissock and the Saegertown Lady Panthers. Back here with Saegertown Girls Softball District 10 champions. We have here head coach Mark McKissock. Coach, thanks for coming on. And left fielder catcher Felicia Ofai. Felicia, thanks for coming on. And of course, Jim Berger.
Of course.
Jim, why don't you start?
Well, happy to. Thanks for joining us today, guys. I had a pretty big year, I guess. Coach McKissock, we'll start with you. Talking off screen a little bit. This wasn't the first District 10 championship. I know. Some people might have thought it was as a surprise. He seemed like you were pretty confident heading into it. How did everything transpire this season?
Well, we got kind of a late start. Had a freshman pitcher that was trying to figure out her way on the team, plus on the mound, and she worked really hard and just grew and grew and grew as the season went on. Coach Kutz did a lot of work with them. They both worked really hard every day. So about the middle of the season, we hit a rough spot there. We lost to McDowell, we lost to winless Youngsville, and also got beat by Northwestern.
It sounds like it didn't go well with you.
No, things weren't looking good. Now you can look back, hindsight's 2020, but at that point we didn't know what, we were derailed, and then we lost 13-0 to Northwestern. And we had an issue or two on the team that got straightened around, and then we took Concord and Maplewood into extra innings and won both those games about that time. And I think that's when we learned how to win, and everybody pulled together, and the seniors pretty much took control of the team and to a degree and got us back on track.
Felicia, I know as a senior it was probably a little more, a little sweeter to win the championship this year as a senior, knowing it's your last year of softball. Is that true?
Yeah, we won as freshmen too, us seniors did, so it was pretty nice to win and go out with a bang.
And what was it like having that experience as a freshman? You saw what the process was like, you kind of saw what it takes, you saw the other competition, did that help your group?
Yeah, I think a little bit, because not all of us played freshman year, so we either ran or sat and cheered our hearts out like everyone else did for us, so it was kind of nice to be in the spotlight.
We talked about it a little bit before, Felicia. You played left field the first time you played Union City. And I was here, and we came out and did the game, and you were saying you saw that home run go over the fence when that young lady hit it for Union City that came on near the end and defeated you guys. And then you guys went to Union City, I think, and they beat you again. Who did you play in the District 10 championship game? Union City. Everybody expected Union City to be at that game. Some people thought Saegertown might be there, but not everybody thought Saegertown would get there. How did it feel for you guys when the last out was made and you guys walked off and you beat Union City for the D10 championship?
That felt amazing, because we heard that they were saying stuff before that too, so it felt good to prove them wrong and win and come out and have a good end to senior year.
Coach, I've known you for a long time. I know you're a fierce competitor and you don't like to lose, which is a great thing. I love that about you. I always felt the same way myself. When things aren't going well and you said you want to thank the senior class, did you have like a little meeting with some of the girls and say we need to straighten some things out to get this program back to where it should be?
Yeah, any softball season, whether it's a winning season or not, doesn't matter whether you're at Saegertown or whatever, all coaches go through a roller coaster. Sometimes it's the Millennium Force and sometimes it's the Blue Streak, but at the beginning it's smooth, and in the middle you don't know what's going to happen, and by the time we got to the end of the season, we were at that end of the roller coaster where it kind of smooths out, and you're not to the end yet, and things were going well, and they believed that they could win. We had a discussion about believing, and talking about believing is one thing, but really doing the action that it takes to believe in each other is another story.
Did you notice, or did you get a feeling that the Union City team during the course of that game was like on their heels a little bit, like, wow, this team is not the team we thought we were going to play today?
I really believe that our experience being there a couple times before helped us. And through the season, we played Quad A McDowell, we played Triple A, well, not so much Triple A, we played Double A Northwestern, which was a powerhouse. Played some teams down around Pittsburgh that were strong. You know, we had losses there, so our record didn't look so good, but I felt like we learned a lot, and then you realize, you know, what do you got to do to win? So I think that helped us a lot.
And you like playing good competition and to get your girls ready to go.
Right.
Sounds like you guys really came on at the right time. What did it mean to head into the playoffs, you know, on that roll? You know, I know the winning against Union City was probably the topper and then going on to states, but how did it feel, as Coach said, playing your best ball towards the end of the year and really knowing what it took then to win?
I think it made the whole team feel really confident and have more confidence in everybody else as well, because we were pretty down for a few games there, and then we all had a long talk and we were like, we're not done yet. We need to put our hearts into it and get our confidence back and go all for it.
Does the process change? You've been in states a lot of district championships, etc. Does the process change from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year to the end of the year? And you try to like practice routines, game day routine, you try to keep everything the same?
We try to keep everything the same. You know, little nuances will change, but nothing. I think Felicia could testify that, you know, things aren't a whole lot different than her freshman year. We pound fundamentals, and you know, and that's we try to do a handful of things really well, and you know, the other stuff will take care of itself. You know, the thing about this year, it's the first year that the District 10 tournament invites everybody.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So that takes a little pressure off a team, and you can take the time to build your team. And like I said, our record wasn't the greatest, but I think we all felt that we were gaining momentum and believing in each other, and had the confidence that, you know, we walked on the field, we could potentially beat anybody.
Now, let's talk about your field. And behind us here, first year, your whole infield's turfed. Why don't you tell us about how that came about and how it helped?
Well, it came about, the boosters, we decided maybe we'd like to do this. We talked about going to Florida. Instead of leaving our money down there, we decided to put it here for a lot of reasons. It really helps in the spring of the year, and you don't have to get a field ready.
Right?
That is really the most difficult thing for coaches, athletic directors, and people that have to deal with fields.
Especially in Crawford County, right?
Exactly. The weather here isn't the greatest, but we figured our money would be better spent here, and the Little League uses it. Everybody, you know, it's available for the feeder programs. Let's face it, we'd rather be on dirt, okay? Mm-hmm. But the benefits way outweigh anything that dirt, you know, that the benefits from dirt. It's just a lot of work. So other than that, the community supported us. We got donations, and Playing Surface Solutions, the company in town here that retires turf fields, they gave us a smoking deal, and we kept their guys working during the winter, and it all worked out. It worked out a lot sooner than we thought it would. They were talking this coming August, and the weather cleared up, and they were at home, so everything came together.
And we were talking off the air, Coach. You said a couple times it started raining. I guess when you played Titusville, it was raining, and they came down, and you told them supposed to clear up, and 30 minutes later, dry as could be here.
Yeah. Well, there was Titusville, there was Rocky Grove. Rocky Grove was probably 33 degrees. It was miserable.
I think that was the game Marley and I fell.
Yeah, once it quits raining, within 15-20 minutes, the ball doesn't get wet. You know, of course, if it goes in the outfield, it does.
Right.
But it's just phenomenal. It's a great thing to have in the spring.
How about bunting drills? Do the kids have to learn how to bunt differently here?
No, we don't bunt much, so it doesn't matter. No, it's all the same. It plays pretty true. Corey's got one that's a new turf field that's really fast. Mm-hmm. This is a slower turf, and it's
pretty conditioned.
It's been used,
right.
and And it's pretty true. It's true. Maybe a hair slower, but it's true.
It's probably better for the fielders if it's a little bit slower. Ground balls coming at you and so forth.
Was it a hard adjustment to make for the players? You know, you said you played second base. What was it like going onto the turf after, you know, being on dirt for your entire life?
I don't think it was that much different. I mean, dirt's always more fun. I mean, you feel like you do more when you play in the dirt because you get all dirty, but I don't think it was as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Did you notice other teams struggling to adjust to it, or is it kind of like a feeling out period, like, wow, what is this? Or do you think they kind of just everyone
maybe at first, like when they were warming up, but I feel like after that they kind of were like, hey, this isn't that bad.
And it's dry.
Yeah.
Coach, 5 seniors. What are you going to miss about these seniors?
Their leadership and their experience. I'm happy for them. You know, when you win a District 10 championship, it's a team thing. But you know, they were around in 13, but they can kind of put their trademark on this one.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really cool that they could go out with a District 10 championship and have their name on it. They're the leaders. Like I said, it's a team effort, but you know, they're not attached to another group of seniors that were leaders. So.
And what are you going to be doing? You graduated from school here just recently, so what's your plans?
I'm going to go to Edinburgh for college.
Do you know what for yet?
Early childhood education and business, so I can run a daycare.
Oh,
nice. Awesome. Do you see yourself maybe someday getting into coaching yourself?
Maybe younger kids, because it's kind of cute watching them try to figure everything out.
Well, you know, your coach can tell you that you need good people coaching the younger kids because they got to learn the fundamentals. So that's important. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, both of you, and we'll be back with a couple more players from the Saegertown girls softball team. Back with Miley Chang and Becca Seipel, 2 more members of the D10 girls softball champions. Ladies, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So how did it feel wrapping up your high school career with that District 10 championship? We talked to the coach earlier, said, you know, like most seasons, there's a couple bumps in the road, and that wasn't always smooth sailing, but then you really hit your stride towards the end of the year. Guess what, both of you, what's it mean to go out as a champ?
Well, we did it as a freshman, so it made it 10 times more memorable and fun as a senior, so I thought it was a pretty good thing to go out like that.
Yeah, I think it was a nice win, and it was kind of nice to get revenge on the teams that kind of looked down on us, and so we won at the right time and came back strong.
Let's talk about that, Molly and Becca, because Union City came here. We came down to Armstrong. We did the game. They had a big home run out there. They were pretty confident, and you went up to Union City. They beat you again, and lo and behold, get to the District 10 championship game, and it's Union City. They're the favorite going into that game. Most people would put their chips on Union City winning that game. What was your mentality, both of you, when you went into the game? Did you really feel you had a good chance to beat them, or did you feel like, oh, you know, maybe we can beat them?
Our coach, well, like we always said, we have nothing to lose, and they have everything to lose. So
pressure's on them.
Yeah. So we were the underdogs, and we're like, well, we're just gonna go out there and do our best. And our games were close. It was just one inning that kind of went downhill for us. So we weren't too scared.
Same thing?
We always said that it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So in our minds, we were like, we just need to get in their heads, and that's what we did. So.
Did you guys kind of want to play them again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
That's what we were hoping for.
Last out happens. How'd you guys feel? How'd you feel when you beat them, and they must have left the field with their heads down and disappointment on their side? You guys jumping all over the place. How was that feeling like?
Oh, it was unreal. It was amazing. Like, we were just like, that's your goal as senior year, any year, but especially senior year, you're like, you just want to win that game.
It was awesome. I don't think I've ever been so excited in my life, to be honest. Softball is my favorite sport, so I was super excited.
I'm glad you said that softball is your favorite sport. How long have you been playing?
I've been playing since I was 7.
Yeah, 7.
So you play a little softball with the little kids, and then did you always look, like you said, you won District 10 when you guys were freshmen. Is it better when you're seniors, knowing that this is the last time you're playing for Saegertown?
I think so, yeah.
Knowing it's going to be the last time that you're wearing the Saegertown jersey and everybody's there to see you, it's just awesome.
Now you went from that the high of highs when you beat Union City. You're in the inter-district playoffs. You won your first game in inter-district, then a little bump in the road, and you lose the last inter-district game you played. When did you get the feeling like, when did it hit you, this is the last time I am playing for Saegertown High School? Did it take a little bit and all of a sudden you realize that this is the end for me?
It was probably my last at bat. I was getting up there, and we were down by a few runs, and I was just like, this is my last chance to try to make something happen, you know?
I felt the same way. The last inning, I didn't get a chance to hit anymore, so at that time I was like, this is probably it.
So was it tough for a little bit, and then maybe after day 2 you realize, hey, you know, we did win District 10, we did beat Union City.
Yeah, actually on the bus ride home, that's what we all talked about.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
You've been playing both since you were 7 years old. Big softball community in Saegertown, always very successful. What did it mean, you know, growing up and watching the teams when you were younger and saying, you know, did you say, I want to be a part of that team, I want to be, you know, helping them win as I get older? Was it a big influence seeing how successful the team was when you guys were little?
Oh yeah. I mean, when I was in 8th grade, Coach McKissock called me for the first time and asked me to go play on a city rec team up in Erie with some of the high school girls. And that's when it kind of hit me like, this is going to be me in the next 4 years of my life. I was so excited.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. Coach called us when we were younger, like when he first started coaching here. So he like tried to get us started, and then we got to know them. And then I just remember all of the older girls, I just looked up to them, and since they were successful, I was like, I want to win. I want to get that feeling too.
Talk about the Saegertown community. It is a small town America. The community gets behind you. How does it feel when you go out there and you play and you see the community supporting you guys?
It's the greatest feeling ever. I mean, some schools you go to and there's like 2 fans in the crowd, and then you come here and like the entire outfield's filled out, and in every sport I play in, everybody's there, same fans, every game, always. Even away games, they follow.
It's always a big energy booster to see everybody here. I mean, even when we play far away, there's still parents that come out. It's just awesome with all the support that we have.
And not just community, but I also know you guys support each other. I know, like when the volleyball was playing District 10, you guys have played a game and just walked right in the gym with cheering your volleyball team on. That's a nice thing in your school, right?
Especially our senior class, our friends, we're all really close, so we all try to support each other as best as we can.
So what are we doing next year? Plans?
I'm going to Gannon University, and I'm debating on playing softball or not.
Okay. And what do you want to major in?
I'm going for radiologic sciences. I plan on being a radiologist assistant.
Oh, that's all, huh? Just radio. So you like the science and math a lot. Awesome.
Me, not so much. I leave at the end of June for the Army Reserves.
Wow.
I will be in Fort Sill, Oklahoma for 9.5 weeks. And then I will come back and go to school at Edinburgh and hopefully play softball.
What made you decide to go in the Army Reserves, which, congratulations to you?
Mainly schooling to get it paid for and stuff. And what I want to do is psychology and deal with veterans with PTSD and different kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
It's really awesome.
You're a tough young lady because it doesn't scare you to get into the reserves and do all that physical
basic training.
Basic training, right?
Have you been preparing for it? Did they kind of give you an outline of what you have to do?
Oh yeah, I've watched videos. They've given me a workout schedule to kind of follow, but since I've been in sports, I haven't really done any of it.
And is it as terrifying as it seems?
From what I've heard, yeah. I'm excited though.
You guys think that your senior class, you guys will be staying in contact some way, somehow? Of course, technology today with Facebook and all this other stuff I don't understand, it's a little bit easier to stay in contact, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a group of guys that play sports, and then our group of girls. Our entire grade's really close, and most people around here don't go too far for college, so we're all in the generally like the same area, so we'll all be visiting each other.
I ask you both this important question. Because of money issues, a lot of school districts are saying maybe we're going to do away with athletics or cut back. Tell the people, in your own words, both of you, why athletics are important in school.
They build your character. They make you who you are. They help you become a better person, and our coaches help us with life, not just sports. It's just an activity to do, and it's fun.
I agree, and I think most teachers would agree when I say that athletes do have better grades within the school because they have to maintain good grades in order to play. It makes you stronger as a person. It shows you dedication, and sports are life.
Well, ladies, we want to thank both of you for coming on, and I can speak for Jim also, talking to you guys and watching you guys play, that you're going to both be very successful, and I think our country and our society is in good hands with young people like yourselves. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Back here at Saegertown High School with the Saegertown softball team. Two more members of the District 10 champions, Miranda Henry and Haley Wash. Thank you for joining us, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
And again, congratulations on the District 10 championship and a nice run in the state playoffs.
Thank you.
You know, we asked the other young ladies who are on so far, what does it mean going out as seniors as District 10 champions? I know you did it as a freshman as well, but does it mean more to end your careers as a D10 champ here?
Yeah, it was definitely more exciting this year because I know as a freshman I didn't get into the games too much. I didn't play a whole lot, so it meant a lot more to actually participate in winning the championship, the District 10 championship this year. But it was also very special to end with the District 10 championship and then begin with it as a freshman too on that team.
Yeah, same. It was definitely great to end out big and know that we went out leaving a mark on the rest of the team.
Oh, you came in and won the championship. Probably can't be that hard. You do this every year, right?
What position did you
I was not a starting player.
That's okay.
So cheered on the team and had a blast doing it. So
you're part of the team.
Exactly.
Which is important.
Exactly.
And practice and stuff, you practice every day and so forth.
I was a third baseman.
What do you like about playing third?
Well, Coach Kutz always calls it the hot corner because everything comes at you so quick, so I like that. It's exciting, you have to react fast, and it puts you like a little bit more pressure because that's where a lot of hard hits come when people get out on the pitches early, and so I like it there.
You also got to come in case they bunt?
Yep, I have to be a little quick.
Yeah. Tell us about playing on this turf then. How is it different for you as a third baseman than playing on dirt?
It was an easier transition this year because we always practice in the gym before the weather gets nice, and so it's kind of comparable to practicing on the gym floor. A little bit more bounce, but also if it gets hit hard, it stays down more than it does on the dirt. So it was easier to transition in the beginning of the year, but it was definitely different to play on dirt for away games and then come back to this, and it takes a couple balls to get back into it.
You said you didn't get to play a lot, correct?
yeah.
But you're an important person on this team.
Yeah.
But you're also a very unselfish person because a lot of young people today are not going to be on a team unless they play all the time.
Exactly.
So what kind of mindset did you have, and why was this important for you to be on this team?
It was important because I didn't make the team freshman year, so I came out, played my hardest, tried my hardest, and I knew I would get in when I could, and I definitely did. I played, obviously, our senior night. I played my whole night, and other games I'd get in here and there, and started in a bunch of the playoff games. So I worked my hardest and stuck with it because I knew this is what I wanted.
What's it mean for you as a starter to see people like her that come all the time and to give it their all and support you guys?
Yeah, I think it definitely motivates us to have people like Miranda on the team because when we get down during games when we're not doing so well and then we look at girls who can't even be on the field all the time, it helps us, like puts us back into a state of reality to realize that we should appreciate every moment that we get on the field. And Miranda definitely, I think, kept our spirit up every game. Whenever we would get down, she would just bring us back up and make us happy and make us laugh. So it's really important to have girls like her on the team.
And it's a great example for the younger players as well. You know, the freshmen who might come up and maybe on the bench and they're sulking and everything, you know, they can look at you and be like, no, she's just as important to anyone as anyone else on this team. So it's got to be great to set an example like that.
So let's talk about the D10 title game. We've talked about it with your coaches and the other players, and you're playing Union City again for the third time. They beat you twice already. They beat you on this field, and that girl had a big home run over that fence. We were here broadcasting that game. You guys wanted to play Union City. You got them. To me, it was a shock to them that you guys beat them. Maybe not to you, but I think they weren't ready for you guys to beat them.
Yeah, I think that Union City came into the game kind of complacent because they knew that they had already beat us twice and they figured it wouldn't be that hard to do it a third time, but we definitely understood that we had the potential to beat them all season, and even though we didn't, we knew it was our time and we knew that we would be on the top of our game, and they might be slacking a little bit in the beginning of the game just because they thought they had it under control, but they didn't. So.
How did you feel about the outcome of that game when you're walking off as a D10 champion and getting that medal?
It was great. It was great because I knew cheering on the team that they had it in them, and Union City just went into the game like they knew they thought they were going to win, and it was nice for us to know that we still have to try hard even though we lost 2 games, and It was great.
And you know what's cool about that, ladies? 20 years from now, when you have your own families or whatever, and you're a lot older, obviously, 37, 38 years old, you look back and say, 2016, we were D10 champs in softball, and we beat this team that thought they were going to beat us for the third time. Kind of stuck it in their face. You never forget that, and you're never going to forget being part of that. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Was there any more, added nerves, or did you feel any pressure or anything going into the playoffs? Because Coach McKissock said you guys had a bump in the road middle of the year. People, the record didn't look that great, but then you guys really hit your peak going into the playoffs. Did you feel some added confidence? Like, what seemed to click for you guys as you entered the districts?
Yeah, I definitely think that we were playing a lot better together and that everything was going well, but there is always going to be more pressure when you go into districts. There's more people there watching. Obviously, there's TV and cameras and everything that have you on the spot. So I personally feel more pressure during district games, but as a team, I was confident in the way that we were playing towards the end of the season.
And pressure's not a bad thing. Sometimes you thrive under pressure. Sometimes you learn about life, because life sometimes is pressure, Future plans. You guys just graduated from Saegertown. What did it feel like when they called your name going up and getting out the diploma? You felt like, wow, where'd the time go?
Oh, yeah. I came really fast. It came faster than I thought it was going to.
Yeah. So what do you want to do?
I'm going to go to Edinburgh University for forensic accounting.
Tell us what that is.
It's forensic accounting and fraud examination, so I'll just kind of it's pretty much working for the government.
Let's put it this way, you don't want her looking at your bank books.
Yeah.
So you go after people if they're dishonest or something?
You don't want her to see your bank account.
How did you find out about that?
I took accounting for 3 years in high school, and my sister actually went to school for accounting, so that's kind of how I got into it, and just doing a little research and found something like that, and I love math, so I thought it was a word.
You love math. God bless you.
I'm going to Carlow University in Pittsburgh, and I'm going to major in nursing. Eventually, I want to get my master's and become a nurse practitioner.
One thing nice about nursing, probably your field too, but I know nursing for sure, you can get a job anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to San Diego, someplace a little warmer than Saegertown if you want to.
Yeah,
down the road.
Definitely looking forward to being in Pittsburgh because there's so many opportunities in the medical field there.
Right.
And one last question before I let you go. What's something about your coaching staff that you guys like that nobody knows?
Coach McKissock has these little things that other coaches would never think of that make the game a lot more exciting, and other teams that don't practice little things that coach teaches us don't do it as well, and it can really be the turning point in a game. Like our bunt coverage or our first base bunts, scoring at will when we have runners on third. Other teams don't practice that, and it really comes into play in important times at the breaking point.
Yeah.
At the end of a game that's close, it can be really useful.
So you guys do it in practice so much it becomes second nature, so in the game you're not panicking.
Yeah.
And those are the plays that really put a lot of pressure on the other team as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in a playoff situation or anything. They're already nervous. What happens when you drop, a double steal or a crazy bunt play?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you both the same question I asked the other athletes. A lot of schools are cutting back on athletics or programs right now because of money. Why don't you look at the camera, both of you, and tell people why athletics are important in a high school?
They teach everyone how to work hard and be part of a team, and not a lot of other things in schools really teach that.
I think that athletics build character, and there's a lot of things that you can learn from playing in any kind of sporting game that pertain to life in the same way. I also think it's important that we have like the arts and our music clubs and everything like that, because that can also build character. It's really just being around other people and having to depend on them to come together for one single purpose, and that'll lead you a long way in life if you know how to do that.
And all of those things combine part of the school atmosphere, right? It makes the school a great place to be, like your school. Well, ladies, we want to thank both of you for coming on. And I said this many times, Jim, we're in good hands with our future. These young ladies are very bright, and good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
And we're back with Coach John Kutz of the Saegertown Panthers. And John, thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about this program you guys have developed. 6 years?
6
You guys
years,
been here
yes.
together, you and Mark. When you came here, what was your ambitions? What was your goals about this program?
Well, one of our goals was to develop skill levels with the girls. We felt we've been in coaching long enough that when we first got into it, it's like most people, they wanted to win. And we'd been in it long enough that we felt winning was a byproduct of learning the skills, learning the game, learning the fundamentals, learning the mechanics. And that's pretty much what we focused on. And that's how we set up our beginning of each year. We have our different skill drills that we work on, our fundamentals, and then we kind of develop from there and see how the girls progress and put them in the positions that we feel they're most capable of handling.
When do you guys start working? Do you start like in January, or when does this process start?
Well, as my wife likes to say, it never finishes. But yes, we usually get going right after Christmas, and we do it with some of our younger ladies. We have a learning program with our catchers and pitchers.
Nice.
And we get them started fairly young, get the mechanics going there, because as you know, some of these positions you can't just start from day one at the season. It's got to take a little bit of training to get there.
Now, having pretty big softball community here in Saegertown, northwestern PA, I guess, to an extent. What does it mean to have a big feeder program, and you get the girls in high school? What does that mean to have girls who they've seen the success the high school teams had? They've learned the fundamentals. They've been playing since a couple of the girls we talked to since first grade. What does that mean for you as a high school coach when they come in and are already kind of advanced?
Oh, that's just a great feeling. We have, and you don't see it right now, but there's a field over adjoining right here that we've got some capable coaches working with the younger girls right now, developing their skills, and they've taken some of the things that we use in our program and then use it for their program. And as you said, when they come up, we can do some of the nuances of the game. Some of the fundamentals, we still concentrate on the fundamentals, but we're able to expand a little bit on that game.
And you said they use the same principles you guys have here too. That already sets you above the curve, I'm sure, of a multitude of teams around here as well. They already know, some bump plays, et cetera, et cetera. That's got to help a ton too.
It does, and we're not unique in that situation. We've picked up what we've learned. We've picked up from other programs. Your Harbor Creek, Iroquois over the years. Some of those programs have been very successful. Northwestern's been another one that. Corey, yes, yeah. The base running. Coach McKissock one time in Little League was upset because Corey did a lot of scoring just because of their base running. He says, no team will ever do that to me again, and we focused quite hard on our base running.
And that's a good thing. Mark of a good program is you steal a little bit from everybody and you put it into your own program. Coach, let's talk about your season this. You started with a freshman pitcher. And pitching, as we know in softball, is about 85-90% of the game. You have to have somebody on that mound that can really change speeds, rise ball, whatever. How did that go? How did you work with your pitcher? How did you get confidence for her?
Well, the young lady that we were working with, and again, being a small school, it's awful hard to pick out certain young ladies to work with. I like to question a young lady when she develops an interest, whether it be second, third, fourth grade. The first thing I'll ask her is, are you interested in pitching, or is your mom and dad? And usually if mom and dad are interested, it's because, they won't have their heart in it.
Right.
But yet at that young age, some of those girls don't know. But this one particular young lady, I started working with her when she was in second grade, and her older sister was in third grade. And they wanted to do it because they wanted to do it. We spent a few summers developing her, working on her. And as this season progressed, back as you said earlier, when we start in January with our open gyms, we have a number of young ladies that were capable of throwing the ball, and we didn't know who was going to start. We got them all together. We got 6 girls together and says, we may be pitching by committee this year, girls,
sure,
unless somebody bubbles up.
Right.
And this young lady bubbled up.
And that's really got to set you up well for the future too, having a freshman do so well now. As Mike said, pitching such a big piece of the game, and to have someone with that experience already.
Yes, and Courtney did quite well. She's a capable young lady. She doesn't show a lot of emotion, but she is an emotional kid. And in practice, when things don't go right, and there's some practices that don't, she's always apologetic. And I'm trying to get across to her that
Courtney, you don't have to be apologetic. You just have to get a little mean streak in you.
I was just going to say that you got to be a good athlete. You got to have a little bit of I'll step on your face if I need to, and I don't mean that in a bad sense. But
Right,
you know
I
what I'm saying.
understand.
Let me ask you this though. You're working with her. She gives up that home run against Union City here. We did the game, and that girl clobbered that thing. How do you get a kid that's so young, as part of the game, you're going to be okay?
That's a good question. And to answer that, if I recall, Coach McKissock called timeout, went out and talked to her, and as we've explained to her many times before, no matter what happens, you can never get that particular play or pitch back. You just got to continue on, focus on the next one, make your adjustments, and she handled that quite well.
So did you see her increase in confidence and a little bit of mental toughness as the season went on? Because you're in that District 10 game, you're a freshman pitcher, you playing the team to beat you twice already. So you must have a little mental toughness in that game herself.
She did. She buckled down, but the nerves were there. And as I like to ask the kids, are you nervous before a game? Because I know I am. I don't sleep well the night before. But Courtney said, yes, I'm nervous. I said, then that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
That's a good thing. When you're not nervous, then the game has passed you by.
Yeah. What do you like about coaching, Coach? Because I can tell just talking to you, you have a passion about it. What do you like? You must like working with these young ladies.
Yes. It's just fun working with them, seeing them, when they're coming out as elementary kids, and then watching them progress to the junior league, and then watching them progress to the high school league, and then seeing some of them continue on to the college level. It's just so much fun seeing them develop just their physical skills. Their mental toughness, again, I like to say, well, they're girls. They're wives in training. So.
And how much satisfaction did you get when they're lining up getting that D10 medal? I mean, that must give you and Mark so much satisfaction to see them, how happy they are.
Yes, it does. And we've been on the other side of that too, and we realize how the other team feels not getting that, because they've worked as long and as hard as we have. And sometimes, as Coach McKissock says, it's just the way the clouds come in, cover the sky, the way the ball bounces off the ground, and we were fortunate enough to come away with it.
How long you want to do this? How many years left do you have coaching here?
Well, probably shouldn't say this. I'm 68 now. I told Coach McKissock there's one young lady I've been working with since she's in second grade. She's in 8th now. She'll be in 9th next year, and I want to see her. I'm staying until Katie gets here.
That keeps you young.
Keeps me young, yes.
We met with the seniors, very impressive group. What's the future have in store? What are some of the short-term, expectation for the team here in the next couple of years?
I think, with the group of seniors that we lost this year, we lost talent, and we lost that thing that you can't display on the field, that leadership quality that it's going to be awful hard to replace. And hopefully somebody will step forward. A lot of times they usually do. But short term, we have a lot of girls that are playing on other travel league teams and in what we call rec ball. So we've always stressed the more innings you can get, the better off you are. So they're kind of buying into that, and hopefully it'll work for us.
Coach, thanks for giving us a few minutes. Congratulations on another D10 championship.
Thank you.
Saegertown softball, always great talking to the ladies and Coach McKissock and listening to their passion and hearing hearing their future plans. I know you said it. We're in good hands with young ladies like that.
No doubt. Talking about young ladies.
Talking about young ladies, or where are they now? Would like to feature from Slippery Rock University, Meadville graduate Paige Kassab, who had an incredible track and field season at the Rock. In the indoor season, she earned All-Region and All-America honors in the high jump. In the outdoor season, she was All-Region in the high jump again. She placed first in the conference in the PSAC in the high jump, 1.69 meters, which is very high.
Yeah.
That's very high. So, and she's incredibly versatile. Looking at the, the multis athlete, the 800, the 60 hurdles, the 100 hurdles, the high jump, the triple jump, the long jump, the shot put, the javelin. So she's done it all, and she's done it all very well.
He's got All American honors in high jump too, and look at this event she's in.
All region honors in the pentathlon. So that's pretty much, that's the big one. That is the big one. So clearly one of the top athletes in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, the PSAC. That's one of the top conferences in the country, Division II-wise. So congratulations to Paige. It's always great to see a Bulldog having such success at the collegiate level.
No doubt about that, Jim. And again, we want to let our viewers know that we'll get information. Send us information in right here on the screen, CTV13 at zoominternet.net, on any local athlete that's now participating in a college, university, what their sport is, and give us a little information about the athlete, and we'll put it on.
And there's a lot of them. It's very, very impressive hearing some of the success stories that have come out of Crawford County the last year or two, last couple of years. Well, always, but it's great to feature athletes like Paige. I know we did Mr. Williams from Millersville Baseball. So
Tyler Waters from Slippery Rock University
Baseball, yep. So, yeah, send them on in. We're looking forward to showcasing as many athletes as we possibly can.
And, some of the stuff that's going out in Major League Athletics, we're going to give a quick shout out. It happened a while back with the Cavs winning the championship. Cleveland going crazy, turning some cop cars over and knocking windows in. And I guess that's how you celebrate nowadays, because it's happening everywhere when they win a championship.
Not in Pittsburgh. They're very classy in Pittsburgh when you win a championship.
Didn't have any problems
Stanley
in the Pens
Cup.
one, huh?
They did not. No. Well, we're used to it.
That's right.
That's
you
the
guys
thing.
are used to winning, right? But I was happy for the Cleveland fans.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
50 years. Wow.
Especially, I don't know, after watching that documentary on ESPN, Believe Land, it kind of was the history of all of the failures in Cleveland. It was pretty good timing that they came out and they...
The Indians are showing well this summer.
The Indians are having a terrific year without Brantley, and they're still, top of the Central at the time of this taping. So.
And I think the Browns will be better with their new coaching staff and new regime. They're on their way up.
Yeah, they have to be on their way up from where they are. Speaking of, where's Manziel? What's he going to do? He says he's vowing to play.
He'll probably play in Canada. That's where he should go, Johnny Manziel. Canada League would be good for him, I think.
He's their problem now.
That's right.
North of the border.
But let's talk about the All-Star game. Baseball All-Star game right upon us.
Yes, it is. I always think that, I always like to watch it. It's probably the most competitive All-Star game, if you will. I really don't agree with Bud Selig making the little edict that that's the home field advantage, but that's the one that
he wanted to make sure they're playing.
Yeah, I understand that. But again, it's really only worthwhile for 4 to 6 teams every year. But I digress. It is a good showcase seeing some of the guys. You get to see Clayton Kershaw pitch to Mike Trout, and you get to see great matchups like that. Ever since I was a little kid, I made sure to watch it. I'm sure I will this year as well.
No doubt about that. It's always entertaining.
It is very
entertaining. And Fox will have it, so Joe Buck will be at the call.
He's the voice of Fox. I was surprised a couple weeks ago to hear him do the Open. I didn't think he was going to be the voice of golf as well.
Last year they had him paired with Greg Norman. But Greg wasn't part of the telecast this year. Fluke thing on, was it Dustin Johnson that won it?
Yeah, Dustin Johnson overcame the controversial call on the fifth green.
That was crazy.
To an hour and a half later, his rules violation comes out, but he was able to overcome it, and he really captivated the Oakmont crowd, if you will.
It was sad that Arnie couldn't make it there. He's 87. He's not in good health at this time, and hopefully he's still with us at the time of the taping and when the show comes on the air, but he's not doing well. Jack Nicklaus said he went and visited Arnie, and he's not doing well.
So, that was right in his backyard, too.
Yeah,
Arnie
he definitely wanted to be there, and who can ever forget the 1962 between Arnie and Jack, and Jack beating Arnie in sudden death, not sudden death, but in a playoff format, 18 holes.
One of the highlights of my life was meeting Arnold Palmer. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. Yeah, it was awesome. He's the kind of guy, you don't look at him and say this guy, he's almost royalty in the United States. He seems like a guy you'd see hanging out at Perkins and, eating at the counter at Perkins.
Down to earth.
Yeah, very down to earth. He's the kind of guy that would open the door for you at Walmart.
Yeah,
so
he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He really is.
I think he ever had to work at Walmart, but I understand.
You know what I mean. He's a man of the people, if you will.
That's a good one right there. He's definitely a man of the people. he really got golf going. He put it on the map as far as the TV started just exposing golf and Arnie and Arnie's Army. And
he really did, yeah.
You know, it's funny. They were talking about that. Him and Nicholas did a special a while back about the Oakmont and when they squared off in '62 in the playoff. And Jack Nicklaus said he gives Arnie a lot of credit because his Army started heckling Nicholas. And he turned around and said, leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's a young kid. Don't do that to him. And Nicholas said he didn't have to do that. He can let him heckle me and maybe cause a bad shot or something. He wouldn't stand for it.
Yeah, true gentleman.
He is, very much so.
Both of them are. Nicholas is as well. They're very good ambassadors for the game.
The one thing about Nicholas, he knew how to close.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was a winner, man.
He was a winner. He could close the deal. Now, though, there's so many good players in golf, Jim. From week to week, there's a different winner. I mean, there's so many good players.
Yeah, like you said, Dustin Johnson.
Jordan Spieth, you got Roy
Day,
McIlroy, Jason
McIlroy,
Day, Lee Westwood. I mean, there's a ton of talent out there. That amateur that won for the Open, he's going to turn pro, and he did really well.
And I kind of like it. You know, I remember when Tiger was dominating every week. I think I kind of like this more.
No
you
doubt.
don't know. You know, I think the players have to like it as well. It's a wide open field every week. Then you have the veterans. You know, Mickelson, he can still come out of the woodwork and win one here or there too.
That's right.
A lot of the youngsters and the old timers.
Great sport, though.
It is.
You know,
I wish I was good at it.
Great. Well, you know, I'm not really great at it, but I love playing it, so that's what counts. You know, you have fun. Kevin, he's the golfer.
I heard. That's what I've heard.
He's the one. And in fact, you know, we might think about doing a golf tips with Kevin down the road.
I'd be down for that. Yeah,
that was a good idea. You know, go out to a course, show some tips on the game. Probably get good ratings.
Certainly.
You were talking about wrestling changing.
I was, yeah. The big news in the WWE. I know this is the news and views section of the show, but
yeah, we're gonna help now.
We'll help them out. But yeah, apparently there's going to be a draft of WWE talent. There's going to be the Raw division and the SmackDown division. So half the roster is going to go on Monday nights, half the roster on Tuesday nights, and then the big pay-per-views is when they're going to cross.
Okay, so they're like building up to the big money type.
Yeah, once a month they have the pay-per-view, and that's when you get, you know, the guy from Raw meeting the guy from SmackDown. So it should be interesting. They tried it a couple years back. It didn't kind of fizzled out, but now I guess they're looking for ratings. I don't know what the reasoning is, but it should be interesting.
At this taping, the Pirates have fallen on hard times.
They are. You know, it's one of those years.
What it was, and a lot of people are calling for Clint Hurdle to get fired. I don't think that's the answer.
It's not Hurdle's fault that McCutchen is hurt. It's not Hurdle's fault that your two catchers are on the disabled list. Your top pitcher, said he has a bone bruise the size of a golf ball in his thumb. You know,
so he can't squeeze the
Your
back.
ace is on the disabled list. Your top two catchers are on the disabled list. I don't think you can blame Hurdle for that.
And the other pitching hasn't done as well as they have in the past either. So.
Right. I think, you know, and I said this during our preview show, I think, they put too much stock in Ray Searage. You know, you try to bring in these rehab pitchers or these like projects. I think that he's just in over his head now. You know, Nice, Nicasio, it's nice, but
I got that one young kid that did well against the Mets. He had a tough time against the Cubs, but everybody does. I think he's going to be a nice pitcher.
Jamison Tyon,
he's going to be a future starter for them. And you know, like you said, they need to bring up a couple more young kids, and maybe they will as the year progresses, to get them experience, because they're probably not going to even make the playoffs this year.
Well, and you know, Tyon was actually drafted above Manny Machado.
Yes, he was.
He was the second overall pick.
Exactly.
And I think he could have been just as successful as Garrett Cole if he didn't have the arm troubles. You know, he had the Tommy John surgery in the minor league, so he's a year and a half back of everyone. Imagine if they had a healthy staff with Tyon and Cole. And they also have someone in the minor leagues, Glass now. He's also very, very highly rated, like top 3 prospect. So
I'm thinking the Pirates might package a Nice and maybe one of their other pitchers, Liriano, maybe need a trade deadline if they feel that it's not going to make it this year for another young kid from another franchise.
Yeah, as long as there's a market for those guys. That's
and there
the
will
thing.
be.
You know, during a pennant race, there's always someone looking. Yeah.
Especially a lefty like Nice. That would go after left-handers.
And he hasn't been terrible.
No.
He has one bad inning, or you can throw 3 bad pitches, and he'll give up 5 runs.
Nice that the Met fans remember.
That's what I've heard. And Neil Walker is not the Neil Walker that I remember.
He's ripping the ball as a free agent too at the end of the year.
Oh, I realize that.
And people are saying, I listened to a Pirate broadcast when they were playing the Mets. Pirate announcer said, wouldn't it be interesting if he came closer to home? And one of the announcers said, you mean back to Pittsburgh? And they go, no, Cleveland.
Yeah, he definitely fit up there. I know he has some back issues, but I think he could easily, he'd definitely be a DH. He can definitely be a first baseman.
That's exactly.
And, you know, those are 2 positions Cleveland. I mean, Santana's okay.
Yeah,
but
you know, especially quality person like him. I got a feeling the Mets are going to throw money after him to keep him, but be interested to see what happens there. And the Mets have fallen on hard times too, which I expected because they lost some players. David right now is done.
Yeah,
he might be done
injury.
forever.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is. And
and he's only 31 years old, 32 years old too.
And they invest a lot of money in him also, and and then it's funny. Somebody was laughing about the Yankees the other day. I think the Yankees are like in the middle of the pack, but they were closer to first place game wise than the Mets were. Nationals are running away with it.
Yeah, they are. Nationals,
And the Cubs.
And the thing with the
But the
Nationals,
Giants, the even year playing well again.
Yeah,
What
that's
is that?
Without
Hunter Pence.
Without Hunter Pence. Yeah, imagine when he comes back.
Yeah.
It should be soon from when we are taping this.
So it'd be interesting down the road to look for projection. Cubs, Nationals, Giants, the playoffs could be unbelievable.
That would be great. And now you have Strasburg again. He's pitching like the best pitcher in baseball, like before he was injured as well. So that should be interesting to see him in the postseason. If they let him pitch in the postseason,
Right.
You remember what happened last time. They shut him down before they got
I
to
think
the
they're
playoffs.
doing that again, especially with Dusty at the helm.
No, yeah, Dusty, yeah.
Dusty's going to overrule everybody. And so you hired me to win, we're going to win.
Yep.
What a job he does every place he goes, turning a franchise around.
He does. Every team's been to the playoffs. Giants, Cubs, Reds. Yeah. I mean, remember, he was with the Reds. They were a powerhouse for a while.
Why? The question is, did the Reds ever fire Dusty Baker?
They
have been the same. Now they're in total disarray.
They are. Yeah, they sold everybody off. Who knows who they sold off by the time of this? By the time we're on the air.
The other rumor is the Cubs are very much going after the Yankees. They want Chapman. And the Yankees, he's only there for this year. And the Yankees are thinking if they don't look like they're going to be in the playoffs, the Cubs have a lot of young talent. They can maybe get a couple of young kids for Chapman.
You could certainly get a lot for that guy, yeah.
And I guess the Reds are paying most of the salary anyway, whoever gets them.
I wouldn't want to see him back in the Pirates division, but it makes sense for the Cubs because
that could clinch
out of all of they don't have any weaknesses,
Right.
but I guess the bullpen would be the only one.
Yeah,
you
they're
look
really
at their
shaky.
rotation; everyone's under 3 in ERAs, but I would say
and boy,
makes sense. And they have the money, so
and they could be there forever
Yeah.
with that talent they have. So young.
they could.
Wow.
And Joe Madden, who according to
What a
pundits
great
has invented baseball, so
What a great coach, though. He's fun.
he gets them to play.
He gets them to look at
hard.
Tampa Bay when he was winning.
Yep, they didn't have much money, much talent. But
And that stadium is pathetic.
and it's still there. They're ever going to redo that. you
Oh
know?
my God, it's terrible. With all the nice stadiums in baseball today, even Minnesota has a beautiful stadium
Yes.
now.
Yeah, I heard that they, I don't know who's trying to move for it, but there's a movement to move the Tampa Bay Rays back to Montreal, who has started for a baseball team again.
That could be interesting.
And they kind of got the raw end up there as
yeah.
well. The
Oh,
MLB taking over your team and moving, and I feel bad. And it's not like they didn't have fan support.
Talk about hearing things. I'm hearing, the Penguins are up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing Mark Cuban has an interest. Pittsburgh native. He wanted to buy the Pirates, but the Major League Baseball wouldn't let him.
Right.
I'm hearing now he's sent feelers out. Maybe he'd like to buy the Penguins.
That would make sense. I think from what I've heard, Lemieux still wants to have a bit of an interest in it,
Well,
like
yeah,
a bit
I'm
of
sure
a share.
Cuban will
but
let him because he knows the game.
exactly. And now the Penguins
Cuban
could
doesn't
ask.
like the day-to-day operations of that. Anyway, Dallas Mavericks, somebody else runs the day-to-day.
Yeah, he's down on the floor yelling at refs.
Yeah, that's right. He's having fun at the game.
But I think right now too, coming off the Stanley Cup, Lemieux and Burkle, the two owners, could pretty much name their price, and they're going to have a buyer. I can't imagine, business-wise, what this has done to their franchise.
And Cuban has a ton of money, and being a Pittsburgh native,
Yep.
that'd be a great fit. I never understood why Major League Baseball at the time denied him buying the Pirates. This was just before PNC was built.
Probably because he actually has a personality.
Yeah, I guess. The Pirates could use that guy with all the money they have.
They certainly could. They certainly could.
So local teams, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, they're looking pretty good. And then down the fall, we're looking at football. And
it's almost NFL time.
I see in the paper Landry Jones is the backup, so I don't know how good that is.
He manages the game. He didn't do terrible his games he was in last year. So knock on wood, it doesn't come to that. But they spent a high enough draft pick on him a couple years ago. He was a top 2 or 3 pick for the Steelers. So they have to have some kind of faith in him. Like I said, he didn't lose in the games last year. So.
Right.
You have that talent, just throw it up in the air. Someone's going to catch it or hand it off to Williams or Bell, and they're going to run it. So it's you just have to be a game manager, kind of like what Roethlisberger was when he took over for Tommy Maddox. If you remember, Roethlisberger went 13-0 as a backup.
I don't see Landry Jones being a Roethlisberger.
I don't. Well, no, but I
think
see
Ben's going to the Hall of Fame.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He's the most underrated Steeler of
Brady,
all time. I think.
that draft. Brady will go to Hall of Fame. Ben will be going to Hall of Fame, and
Breeze.
He could get there. Yeah, and
Rogers.
What about Eli? Does Eli get in?
He wins.
He won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he wins.
Phil Rogers hasn't won.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Eli's won a couple Super Bowls. Obviously, Peyton's going to walk in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Peyton will walk in.
And Eli wins when he's not supposed to. That's the thing. I mean, look at the Super Bowl victories that they did have.
That's an interesting team this year. We'll do the football preview down the road. Also, we'll do the football preview. We'll have Lon and John there.
It's always a good time.
Yep,
always a good time.
and we'll do the
that'll bump the ratings up. Getting those two guys on the show.
That happens because Lon promotes it on the radio when he does his cool show that he's going to be on. So that's good. Yeah.
He'll never ask us on there.
They don't want their ratings to go down. All right, that's about wraps it up. Anything else?
That's about it for me. Yeah, I don't have much.
Good
Thanks
job.
always for tuning in.
That's right. We'll thank our viewers.
And thank you again to Saegertown Softball for being such tremendous guests and hosts.
And ratings continue to rise.
They do.
Yeah, and I guess we could be expanding our territory down the road.
That's what the rumor is.
Yeah,
expanding northward.
More people get a chance to watch us.
Our ratings skyrocket even more.
Without a doubt. All right, for Jim Berger, this is Mike Fiorello. Thanks for watching Sports Close-Up.